Everyone knew about the strange, altered energy magic hanging out inside Emily's body, dubbed Lil Sparky. They had spent the last several days in magical combat training. Staff Sergeant Boyd had ordered it to discover everything they could about what Emily could do, how her magic affected other people's magic, and how the team could work together. That meant there was no reason for her to keep thinking of herself as the outsider nobody wanted anything to do with. Now she was part of the Prodigal Suns. It didn't matter that she had new and inexplicable magic blasted into her by an energy cannon. According to Samsu of the Marajoara, Emily was the proud owner of the only magic that could take down the god of magic. It was strong enough to make that deity worried about what might be coming for him in the future, so much so that he had sent 3 members of his zombified human surveillance system after her. Engaging Heka one more time should have made it seem like the team was that much closer to finding their enemy target. It would be another magical battle, with much more preparation on their part, and a slight idea about how they could combat a deity, which they hadn't had the first time. The Suns were closer to their goal, yet they were still so far away, because they didn't know who Heka's human lieutenant was, the guy carrying out the God of Magic's business, including sending the zombie police officers after Emily and her team in their rundown apartment, remained unknown. He was still out there, and the Suns didn't know how to find him. There was a large chance that if they could not find this human lieutenant, they would not find Heka. That meant they couldn't bring the fight to him or do anything but sit back and wait for new orders from Hellion Command or another attempted attack against the unit. The last few days let the Prodigal Suns experiment with the dynamics among their team, particularly with Emily's magic and how Lil Sparky did or did not work. It was enough of a distraction that spirits were relatively high among the operators. It also served as some advantage for them over the God of Magic's zombified human victims, who acted as his human surveillance system across the globe. It might give them an advantage over this mystery lieutenant, and if they were lucky, over the God of Magic. Bottom line, Emily and her unit were a hell of a lot more prepared now than they had been a few days ago. She'd attempted to learn everything she could without any fancy Hellion gear, machinery, or training simulations, and it had turned out fine, as far as she knew. That was probably the biggest difference between now and when Colonel McBlair had selected Emily to join Hellion Squadron. Using the local resources wasn't a lot. Still, it was more than Emily had, back when she feared she couldn't control her new magic, and didn't know whether her unit would keep her on the team or shut her out until this mission was over. Those had been her most immediate fears, but they weren't the full list. The one she kept secret hit a lot harder whenever she thought about it. So far, she'd kept her endless struggle to find her twin brother Rupert relegated to the back of her mind, while she focused on honing Lil Sparky's abilities.